Hey y'all, Trendline boys. Just want to put a quick video out. Just kind of quick update to add it up to the update table. I have no idea what's gonna go on here. I'll start from the beginning. Try to update, I guess. So we had our bullish entry here, gotten some options, things like that. I was looking for, so the interesting thing that I was about this, and I don't want to write anything off, is that so all of my targets and everything have been hit. I was hoping we would get. I think the issue is I just misinterpreted the week. Um, don't usually, I don't know. This was like a new thing I was incorporating, so I'm not sure how it specifically will play or work out. But the central idea was, and we can kind of see it here now that everything's up. We just wanted an end above where this was going to end. I thought it was going to be 37,910 is what I was saying. This line ended up only being at 37,871, so there was a little bit of room. The interesting thing is to that 37,910, the candle opened at 37,914. So really close to the target. Think it has possibilities. I was hoping it would get bought up. I think it looks horrible where it is right now. And my big thing about it is like so if we go to the week, we can see the week is good, and then we'll kind of see everything else is bad. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So the week does have its own thing, and it is different from the other ones. We can see it does have its own places where it hits. I don't like the week as much. To be straight up about it, but you can kind of use the shift pitchfork to see things on the week as well. It can work that way. I prefer it more so on the day and the 4 hour, but we are still technically able to be in play here. So I was hoping the weak boys would just push it, or and girls would just push it up, or people. I don't really care. Whoever's buying bots, really. I shouldn't be saying boys or girls. Really, just bots. Or well, I guess not. All computers don't do stuff like that. But I feel like they're waiting at the last second, all this other stuff, manipulating price, have a bot doing it. But so we kind of go to the day, and it's pretty obvious short on the day. Super obvious short on the day. Super, super. Like, I mean, it didn't take a genius to figure this out. I mean, we can really just see on this one when it ends down here, it just looks bad on the day. It's clear that it looks bad. So that wasn't too surprising. The week still stays in play. The 4 hour looks pretty bad. I don't know what the 12 hour looks like. So the one couple things I don't like about the 4 hour, we stopped here. I would have liked to hit it here, and this kind of gets back to what was kind of going on here. So I would have liked to have seen it hit here. The 2 hour is way far down on the hulls, all the way down here. The 1 hour is here. So it makes sense. And this kind of shows it's a similar thing. You see how we ended, and we ended above, so we can come under, but it's going to have upwards pressure if it can push back up through it, just because I don't know why, it just seems to be the thing. So this is kind of the idea on the week. The issue is like what I've been showing, and then this can push up, but I also think it's so there's kind of two scenarios I see here. We can end under here, and then okay, yep, and so we ended under. Yeah, so I think this is also more bearish as well. We could push up here. That doesn't really make much sense. That would even be more bearish to push up here. We probably get just rejected right here. Maybe it pushes. Generally it's gonna maybe touch the line and then push back down. So most likely we're gonna want to touch this 36,503. Um, and there could be something on the week. The weekends here, or the new weekday starts here. So I do think there is ample time. We could also maybe hit something. I would like to really see this hit if we're coming down to have any real belief. Otherwise, I don't care, and I just want to see it above this line to have a long entry again. Very sad. I mean, it's like a 2% on a small part. It's like $200, not a huge thing. Um, I'm more concerned about the options that I have for tomorrow. But that were like 30% up in profit now, probably like maybe 20. I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't affect the market too much. I think if we can stay in this range, hopefully, and I'll kind of show some of the alts, which makes me think we won't. So anyway, here I think it's most likely will fall here, but we've kind of already used this in my opinion, so we can try coming up. But it's like we go down there, and the other issue is then we start interacting. So the 2-hour hulls are all the way down here, and so the 1 hour is here. And then so essentially, if we hit our target at, which is now at 36,500, that is going to put us here, and that's going to put us under. So kind of in a sense, I could see it pretty likely being that we go here to 500, and then we could come back up maybe, and we'll get rejected here. I think that would be a lot more likely at this point. Um, I like because that way we'd use the bounce here, and then we just get rejected. I guess this was the spot, 36,911. No. Yeah. And so we'd bounce there, and then we'll come back here and get rejected. That seems pretty likely, especially after this. Not super bearish, but still, in my opinion, bearish enough. With this, I could expect it to touch the line before it comes down, but it's usually pretty sketchy, to me anyway. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen for that. And really, like I said, the day is above. I think the day is above us, right? So the day is not going to help us. The day is definitely not going to help us. This is a huge sell signal here. I'm never right about everything so far. I was not right about interpreting the week, but the week I think is still in play, and I think it's still notable that it ended $4 from my target in the positive direction. So not necessarily that means anything past. I want to see it get back up here, and if somehow it could get back up here, it looks good on the week, and the week can take it up. The issue, I guess, going into the next part is um, so we got all this stuff against us, fives against us, 15s against us. You could say we have these as targets up. This isn't really a target. You could say we have these as targets, so I could see that, but they just look like rejection points or reaches. Same thing here above us. So we really get this, and then we get this down here at 35,600. So that's going to bring us right here. Let's do that. Let's do this. What is this? 1 hour 500. So let's do that. So that's the 1 hour 500, and then we can look at the 2 hour. So the 1 hour 500 seems to line up with the 2 hour. 1 hour 500, 2 hour 25. So that's nice there. My other kind of concern though is that we just have a lot of this stuff here, and it's going to be really weird. So I want to see, like I said, I want to see us hit this area. Um, it doesn't look as good, but if we look at the 4 hour, we can see pretty much boom, expected bearish pressure bounce. So I think this is a really strong area. I just think we're going to get caught in all this. So we kind of go here, and then we come back up, and then we get rejected, and then we come down here maybe to bounce. But you know, you can kind of see it, and this will be coming down here. So maybe this takes us up to here, and then maybe we can break up, but we're also going to have stuff coming down here, and then stuff coming down from the top. So this is also going to have to come in here. So it might be somewhere near the end of the week we're able to see anything from this. But at the end of the day, I'd like to see it hit this area. And you can kind of see here the issue if it hits that area is, no matter what it's doing, now we're under everything. So I think that's going to be really tough. If somehow it can do that and come back up, I think that's pretty good. If we revert to the week, with the week's pretty neutered, I don't think it can really do too much on its own at this point. It needed to be bought immediately. Um, but if we go here, we could probably even do this for a quick second, right? Go there for a second. Speed. Oh, it just does the whole week. Okay. Will it? Actually, I'm not sure how it'll. Okay, no. Okay, so we can just. Oh, I don't know how long this will take actually. Maybe this is day by day. I just wanted to show the end of this candle. I didn't really want, let's see, too much. Okay, come down a little bit, and it should switch over right here. Yep. Oh, so it just did it. Anyway, that was unfortunate. I just wanted to show the first second when it just ended above. But the issue I have here is, so if we say, oh, hey, this is a hit on the week, which, okay, I mean, technically, I guess maybe this could have been why, partially. Obviously, I have 5 Bitcoin charts, and there's a line everywhere for everything. But the week does skew a lot. But if we assume that we're going to come down anywhere, even to hit this line again, we're at what, 33,500. And if we go to any other chart that's like, the ones I prefer more, we're down here. And with this, to me, it brings into play this here. So I think it's more likely that we get rejected here. I think it's important to watch, just like what it was over here. We could see it, or I guess it's a little bit more easy to see it here, where we did have this big sell down rejection. It just got bought right back up, and then they pushed it up. So I think if we can see something similar, I wouldn't be too surprised. But I mean, for that, I'd have to. I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer for anything, right? We see it come under, and then it just pops back up above, and we'd want to see something like this. It doesn't matter where it is. I mean, you can move this anywhere. It doesn't matter. But we'd want to see it come down and then pretty much just go over. But as we can see here, the longer it waits to kind of drop like that, the less space it really has. It starts kind of wedging here. So that's kind of what I see for that. And I guess I can kind of look at a little bit of alts and I explain I don't think a lot of alts are really going to help. Just looking at it like this, I mean, it looks horrible. I've said in my other videos, usually what the 500 SMA can mean, especially when we kind of come down, get rejected, and especially on this last candle right here. I don't think we really have data too much where it comes back. Just to show it real quick, let's see. So come down. So we do have a little bit here where it holds. This will be interesting to see, but again, here it comes back over, and that's the point. So it's not really, I don't know if it's worth a lot of this stuff, and then boom, a lot of sketchiness under everything. I think there's more here. And none of this is really the same because this kind of just falls off. But I mean, when it falls off from it, it can be it can be a very big indicator of a big cycle coming up. So it's just one of those things. I mean, even here when it was struggling and it still came back up, maybe we see this as a shoulder. But it's just really sketch. I like seeing it come up into stuff and through things. So my overall target, I guess, usually I was referring for the week, which would be, what are we at now? 16K. Who knows where we are in a couple weeks. Whenever it hits down here, it could be at the 18 people were talking about. I think Bitstamp has something, a little bit more data here. Yeah, so Bitstamp has a little bit more data here with some of this stuff. We can kind of see it come into play. See the 200 SMA hit. So this would not really change too much. So really for me to see this, like it has potential because it ended technically right above it. Um, it would be really weird to expect. Yeah, it'd be real. I don't know. I was saying here probably this. It'd be really weird to expect this to come all the way down and then push back up to 32K, and that's also the week. So I don't know. I just don't feel like relying, or it's like the week is too reliable at this point. I think if the week was going to come through, they needed to really come through in the beginning. And just to kind of reiterate that again, we can kind of see right at the beginning. I think maybe on the 1 hour. This was really tragic. I felt a little sketchy about it just because of this. I'm like, wait, why are we shooting up before? I felt nice because we went there, but I mean, you can just see the straight sell down on it. And like they just needed to, it just needed to be held. So, but let's go to some of these alts real quick and just show from that perspective why I'm not a huge fan of these. So, I mean, we can already see here just on some of these, pretty straightforward, just like right there, I guess. We can already see it's broken the trend line here. So for this, it's crap until it comes up. So I just see people leveraging out of this. I mean, this was to Bitcoin. This is really sketchy, really bad. If we look to Doge also as another example, Doge to Bitcoin looks in a really sketch place, and we're also under the 500 constant resistance. We've hit targets in the whole area. Let's see, maybe Link's still performing. No, Link's having some trouble too. To be expected more so on the link. It had the big sell down, boom, here, the shift over, boom. If it can hold here, link might have some strength. With Bitcoin, we'll see though. I think it's just as scary if this can end up to the underside here and then push back down. Let's see, just a lot of these. We can really see the sell points on this. We just zoom out. We can just see in general, if we're under the hole, it's usually pretty bad, and we usually just want to get in when it's back above. What we really want to see is the same thing. We want to see really a convergence of the averages and coming above. We can see it on everything pretty much. We'll be able to see it on, though actually maybe not everything. EOS is ugly as poop. But if we switch time frame, 4 hours usually pretty good at showing this. No, EOS just looks like poop, but we'll be able to find it on Ethereum. So let's see. So as we can see right here, this is the 4 hour. We can switch the day in a second, but we see here, come back through, 500 challenge, start taking positions. We can see it here also as well. Come back through. This is very fortunate whenever it does it, to actually come all the way back down to it. Then we push up. Bitcoin has some easy examples from the beginning, or the earlier time frames. So we can see all convergence of them all right here again, and we come back up, and then we can see boom, boom, up. We can also see coming up through here. Boom, this is tragic, but we do see coming up, newer high. This could also be the position. It makes sense from other reasons too. I don't just use this, but that's usually the easiest way to figure out where a decent position is. So we see the same thing over here as well. Probably see it again here, some sense. It's a little, let's see, boom, boom. Okay, we're above these two. Now we're above all three, and it comes all the way back down. Very fortunate. Like I said, it doesn't always happen. Beta attention tokens up, which is interesting, but a lot of these look like they're in very sketch places. This is really going to have to hold. It looked kind of decent where it was before, but like I said, we're still in play for this. This ended under, so I mean, this would look like a nice rejection and send it back down, another like 5%. BNB, I think, looks horrible. I think this is maybe arguably one of the most indicative ones about the whole market. We can just look at BNB. We're just really high up. Weak target puts us down at 113. Old fib puts us down here as well. This 113 to 130 range. We can see some of the strength of it here as well. We can actually see it struggling here and the bounce and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of all the way up here. This is a sell signal to me, especially if we look at this. So essentially we ended up, this is going to be really tough, and we have, like, even if you just put a line here, there's just like a whole area right here. And really the kind of thing about this isn't just BNB to USD, but it's BNB to Bitcoin as well. We can see these clear rejection areas. You can kind of see what I'm talking about again here with this kind of, we ended, and obviously the average is moving up, so it's fine if it ends on it. Because if it ends on it, the next one is probably ending under it. So we see the end under, and then we see these, boom, and it's just kind of fading off, and it could pop back up, and now it's under everything. And I don't think there's a lot of buy signal. Yeah, the 4 hours pushing, 2 hours pushing, 1 hour. 1 hour has a little bit of strength, but if it fails down, then the 1 hour looks horrible too. And I don't think the 2 hour is going to come down on anytime soon. The 30-minute looks bad. 15 gives it a reason. It's going to be pretty tough to fight all these other ones. So I just don't see a lot of other stuff necessarily wanting to help push it up. But I do think it could be possible. Litecoin looks pretty poopy too, especially when we check out the averages here. I mean, clear rejection. I think the Bitcoin looks pretty sketchy too. I think another one I was looking at was DOT, which I wasn't a huge fan of. DOT as well, and pretty much what I was saying, I think it's just about to happen, where it's going to just be on the other side, tragically. Almost more tragic, I can't find it. Let me see. Yeah, so here, so essentially what I was saying in my other video is, like, the thing I don't like about this, because if Bitcoin gets sketchy, we're boom right on the bottom side, and now we can see we just respected this so much, and we're on the bottom side of this. It just looks so bad, and so this is probably going to drag. No matter which way Bitcoin goes, this will probably drag DOT down a little bit. And DOT's already suffering its own stuff with targets down here, and then farther targets all the way down at 9. Even though this looks pretty decent for 14, we'll see what happens. Same thing. Matic, it's sketchy also as well. So that's just kind of it. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be pretty hard. The week looks good, but everything else looks horrible. So we passed 38K. I think we're fine, but I doubt it.